So hi all, welcome to another video lecture. In this video lecture, we will see what is the difference between rollup versus rollup group in DAX. So what is rollup? It is used to add subtotals and grand total rows in summarized table. It is used to create subtotals at each level of hierarchy. And it can be used inside summarize to build total rows. It has output rows to represent the rollup levels. So we will see this through an example of about rollup, that generally when in summarize table, when we really want to represent subtotal based on a particular column or a particular group of columns, we can definitely use the rollup. Okay. Now what is rollup group? Rollup group is simply used inside rollup to prevent intermediate subtotals between grouped columns. It treats multiple columns as one grouping level. So whenever we have grouping, we have more than one grouping, right? Basically in summarize function, if we have more than one columns on basis of which we have grouped, then we can take those multiple columns and we can group them together. So rollup group, it simply acts like grouping those columns together and then using a rollup on top of the rollup group function. So what function it performs? It actually avoids partial subtotals that may confuse the report viewers, and it is useful when grouping hierarchical pairs, right? Like for example, country and state together. This is the syntax. When you are using only rollup, then we generally use it in this way: sales, rollup, region, comma, country. So here what is happening, that we are grouping it on the basis of region and on the basis of country. So what will happen, that we will get subtotals on the basis of region, separately on the basis of region and country, and then one entire aggregation on the basis of region and country combined. Okay. But if you use rollup group in this particular manner, then we won't get the subtotals based on region and country separately. Rather, we will get the subtotal on basis of region and country combined. So if you want only the particular summarization, the particular aggregation to be shown on the basis of region and country together, then you use this way, rollup group, and then top it up with the rollup function. But if you want to show the subtotals for every region based on the country, then you need to go ahead and use the rollup function. Okay. So when to use each? Use rollup when you need subtotals for every column in the hierarchy. You use rollup group when you want a subtotal only after the group of columns, which is used to simplify and clean subtotal structure. Okay. So let us go ahead and let us see this in practical. Okay. So we have this Walmart sales table, and if you go to this table, then we have the store ID, we have the weekly sales, and we have the other parameters as well. So what we really want to find out is the weekly sales for every store ID and every date, that is for every year of this particular date, not exactly the date but the year of this date. So how can we go ahead and do this, right? So let us go ahead and create a new table, and in this table, let me just name this as rollup, table rollup, and let us create this summarize function, and within this table let us add the Walmart sales, and then let us add the Walmart, the group by column will be Walmart of store, comma, another group by column would be, let's say, Walmart of dates of year, comma, total sales. We want to calculate the total weekly sales. So calculate sum of the weekly sales, correct? If we do this, then it will summarize it on the basis of store and year. Okay, you see, store and year. So for store number 1, year 2010, it is giving me the sales, right? Similarly for store number 1, year 2011, it is giving me this much amount, right? So like this we will get it for all the years for every particular store ID, correct? Yeah. Now if we really want to find out the subtotal for every store and the year, then what we need to do, we will go ahead and use the roll up. Okay, and you will just see what will happen. We will use the roll up. Okay, sorry about that. Let me go ahead and let me hit on commit and see what will happen. If I go down, now you see for every store, right, I'm getting this total sales. You see, for every store. Now what is this particular value? This value is the sum total value for the year 2010, 2011 and 2012, right? 2010, 2011 and 2012. So for all the 3 years combined for a particular store ID, I'm getting all the values, right? And at the end, you will find that there is nothing displayed in the year and in the store, which means that it is giving me the sum total value for all the store IDs and the years combined. So this is the sum total for all the store IDs, correct? This is the sum total of all the weekly sales for all the store IDs. So this is pretty useful in cases when you want to display subtotals in some kind of visualization, or the entire total in some kind of visualization. If you want to display the subtotals in visualization, then definitely you should go for roll up. Okay, you should, because then this particular value, right, this subtotal becomes a part of your table, and then it becomes very easy for you to go ahead and use it in your visualization, right? So this is one of the use cases of roll up, which we will see shortly we will see that. Okay, now one difference between roll up and roll up group is, now you will see that if I don't want to go ahead and see these values, right, on the basis of just the store IDs, right now what it is doing, it is trying to create subtotal values on the basis of the year, right? For every particular store ID for all the years, it is going ahead and it is giving me the sales, and at the end it is giving me an overall sum, right, for all the stores. But in case if I only need this value, only need the sum total value, I do not need the subtotals for every store ID, then in that particular case we can definitely go ahead and we can use the roll up group. Now you see, if you go ahead and if you only run this much, right, it will not do anything, because roll up group does not really do anything. It just groups the column together. So in order for you to see the results, actual result, you need to top it up along with the roll up function. Okay, now if you go ahead and run this, if you just go down, you will see now only one particular row has been added, which now represents the sum total, right? The sum total of entire aggregation, right? Irrespective of whether it's store or dates of year, right? It is showing me the entire total. So this is the basic difference between roll up group and roll up function. Roll up function, okay, it will go ahead and it will give you the subtotal value. Roll up group, it only performs the grouping of the particular columns on basis of which you will be doing the roll up. Okay, so the roll up actually does the action, roll up group simply groups them together. Okay, now one question that will come to your mind is, why should we use roll ups? Correct. If I really need to find the sum of the total sales, right, I can simply go ahead and I can, display it in some kind of card. I can simply go to this card, okay, and I can go to this particular weekly sales and I can simply drag and drop it here, right? See, 6.73 billion. So what is the need? Okay, so I will show you what exactly is the need. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring one slicer, and in that slicer what I am doing, I will be going ahead and doing some modification in the model view. Okay, so in the store, let me go ahead, go to the advanced tab, and let me summarize this by none, and let me go to the year, and let me go to this and summarize this again by none. Okay, and let me create a relationship over here between stores and apply security filter and both directions. Let me go ahead and click on save. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let me create one slicer, and in this slicer I will be adding the store. since there are going to be multiple stores, so that will make the visualization a little messed up. So that's why we will just only see it for only one single particular store, so that it becomes very easy for us to see the difference. Okay, so we will create this visualization, and in this visualization what we will do, we'll go ahead, let's go to the format. Well, in the x-axis I will go ahead and I will pick this store, and I will pick this year. Let me select this as 2, and here I will go ahead and I will drag the total sales. Okay, go ahead and I will drag the total sales. Besides, here I have used the roll up group, right? Let me go ahead and let me only use the roll up function. Yes, roll up function. Now if I go, yeah, so you can just see right now, right, that now what has happened, that along with the values that I'm getting for the year 2012, 2010 and 2011 over here, I'm getting the sum total value for a particular store ID, that is number 2, which I have applied over here. I have applied a filter over here. I am getting this particular sum of the total sales for a particular store ID. So this subtotal value I can represent over here. I can show it here in the visualization. Okay, now if let's say if let me create one more visualization. Okay, let me create one more clustered column chart, and in this clustered column chart what I will do is I will go ahead and I will create this. I will drag this store. Let me go to this year and let me place this year here, and let me go ahead and place this weekly sales here in the y-axis. You see, I cannot get the sum total value over here, as you can see, right? I cannot get the subtotal value here, unlike this one. Why? Because this subtotal is now a part of my table. But in this particular visual, right, you can definitely go ahead and show this particular value, but it is going to be very different from this particular visualization. How you can go ahead and do it in this particular visual? I can simply go to this particular new visual calculation, and in the calculation I can simply go ahead and I can say calculate the sum of the entire weekly sales, right, of the entire weekly sales, comma, I will simply remove the filters from the dates. If I remove the filters from the dates, simply what will happen, it will simply go ahead and remove all the filter context from the date, and it will give me the sum of the weekly sales for every store. Okay, so in that case we will get the subtotal. Okay, so if I go ahead and if I hit on enter, see, I'm getting this value, but you see the problem, I'm getting the subtotal for every year. It is comparing me with every year, but I just don't want it for every year. You see, I only want it once. So in case where you only want it once, you definitely go for the roll up function. Okay, you can definitely go ahead and perform this kind of this particular functionality. You can definitely go ahead and perform using DAX, but it will become very lengthy and it becomes very confusing as well, right? In such cases, using roll up function like this is very helpful and it becomes very easy. So you see, this is a basic difference in visualization. You can also show the same value, but here you see you have used it along with every year. You are comparing it with every year, the subtotal with every year. So if you want something like this, then definitely go for this. Do not use the roll up function in that case. But if you want to represent the subtotal once and make it a part of your table, you want to show the subtotal in this particular visualization, then definitely you can go for the roll up function. Okay, so this is one difference, okay, in the visual calculation. So this is one of the use cases where you can actually use the roll up function. So I hope you really enjoyed this video, and if you really did, then please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, and please don't forget to press the bell icon for notification. And one more thing, whatever I have done here, right, whatever functionalities that I have shown you here, there is a separate video a playlist that I have created for the lab sessions. You can go ahead and you can watch those lab sessions. That lab session is based on PL 300 labs. Okay, so you can go ahead and you can watch them, all the functionalities, okay, from the basics to advanced, right? Everything has been covered in those lab sessions, in those 10 videos. So you can go ahead and you can watch them. Okay, so that's it guys. Thank you very much for watching my video and stay tuned. Thank you.